What's going on, y'all? And we have another update for set 9.5, and today is a new item. We're going to be talking about this pretty small update we're going to be talking about. But hey, if you guys want to know more about these set 9.5 updates and you're not chronically on Twitter or the X website, whatever you want to call it, then I can be your guy here on YouTube to talk about all the updates. I come here every day to talk about anything that is non-cosmetic, pretty much. So here we're going to talk about a new item. So Horizon Bound brings about some changes to the TFT item system that we're excited to show you. Going to breadcrumb some bits for the next few days until the full reveal on Monday. So full reveal on Monday, we'll be covering that for sure. Nashor's Tooth is a new item. And what's with the border with Moguls Mail? Moguls Mail is a shimmer scale item, but as you'll see here, it is turning into an Ornn artifact, which is really cool. That's going to be interesting. Maybe it's going to be replacing Eternal Winter. Maybe Eternal Winter will finally be gone. I've been asking for Eternal Winter to be removed from the game since it was added to the game like 2 years ago. Like, nobody likes that item. It is so OP. I hope it's a replacement. So let's look at, before we do that, let's look at Nashor's Tooth though, because it's an interesting item. So if you guys have played League, you will know that this is an AP attack speed item. It's an item that you put on units like Azir and Kai'Sa in League of Legends. And you know what? Those units would be great users of the item in TFT. I do think Kai'Sa is going to be removed, but let's just imagine that we're playing the previous set. That's going to make it easier to conceptualize this item. We have 150 health because it is a belt and a bow. So ZZ Rot Portal is being removed. And really, ZZ Rot Portal has not really been a healthy item for a while. Like in this set, it's felt pretty useless. And then a lot of times in past sets, they're just like, are so many degen setups you can do with ZZ Rot, like with the old like Abomination Scion tech, where you just count like the Scion Draconic tech, where you just constantly spawning stuff. And what was that Swain comp where you would share items? People would do Protector's Vow or ZZ Rot Portal, and you just overwhelm them with units. So I think it's been a problematic item for most of its time in TFT. I did like the item, but it's really felt very problematic over the past few sets. So they're replacing it with Nashor's Tooth, as well as this is an AP attack speed item because they like to add a lot of AP attack speed units, but they don't really have their own item. So, but after casting an ability, gain 40% attack speed for 5 seconds, 30 ability power, and then 10% attack speed base. So this is going to be interesting because this is definitely an item introduced for units like Kalista, like Kai'Sa, like Azir, right? I'm not sure if any of those are going to be in the new set. I think Azir is going to stay because Shurima is confirmed staying, and I can't imagine they have Shurima in the game without Shurima's Emperor. That'd be kind of messed up, right? But I think Kai'Sa and Kalista are being removed for Bilgewater. I think this is speculation. I think Shadow Isles and Void is being removed for Bilgewater, and maybe in another trait as well that I'm not certain on yet. But what's cool about this is after, like, this is pretty cool because it's an item uniquely for those units. So maybe like sometimes you don't have to have Rageblade on Azir, right? Because you have this option to build this. So it doesn't make Rageblade like the end all be all flex item for like almost all the in-game carries. This is an interesting design choice right here rather than just trying to make sure you don't design a bunch of units that need attack speed. But I think this is just cool. This is like a cool little layer, and then we'll see what happens with putting this on AD units. So like if Aphelios is still in the game, and I think he is. I think he was in one of the clips we watched for gameplay of the new set. So I wonder how Aphelios would be with this. Like this is like, is this going to be a situation where obviously Rageblade is better, but what if you don't have a Rageblade and you just have to go Nashor's Tooth? Is that okay? And if they're going to change the AP ratios of AD units to allow them to use this item better, I would bet not, because in the past, AD units have always been better than AP units for the most part because their dual scaling is better. They've been better with a lot of augments and that sort of thing, not like always better, but because their AP scaling was always pretty solid. But since then, they've really made AD units have much worse AP scaling. I think they started doing that since set 5. I think it hit a really pinnacle whenever set 5 Aphelios on PvE had an AP build that was stronger than the AD build. And that's when they really started to address that, like, man, these AP ratios on AD units need to come down because they're just like too OP compared to the AP units with a lot of augment setups, with a lot of, they have more flexible items, that sort of thing. So I wonder if they are going to make the AP ratio stronger on AD units to allow them to use this item, or if this this is just going to be a budget Rage Blade for AD units, and on AP units, be an actual really good item. This is going to be really strong on Azir, so check it out. If Azir is still in the game, you're probably going to go Nashors and Rage Blade, opposed to what people do right now where they go double Rage Blade a lot of the time. So I'm super excited about this item. Going to be very interesting. And it gives you another strong bow item. Man, does this make bow bow is already like the best item that people like to play around. Like almost always in TFT, even if it's not actually the best item, people love playing around this item because it's really easy to play around Rage Blade, around Giant Slayer, around Titans, that sort of thing. There's a lot of flexible spots. Shiv, you know, like there's a lot of like flexible things you can do with bow, and this adds another layer to that. So that's kind of interesting from like a grand balance perspective, how that's going to be set up, because everyone loves playing around bow, and this gives you just another out to play around bow. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is Moguls Mail. So if you don't know what Moguls Mail does, it is a Shimmer Scale item. And essentially what Shimmer Scale, this item does on Shimmer Scale is it gives a flat amount of base HP, and right here it says 150, but it gives you more than that, I think, on the Shimmer Skull item right now. And then it kind of works like Titans, where it does stacks over time when you take damage, and then I believe at 40 stacks is what it is right now, you gain a bunch of resist, and then your team gains a little bit of gold. I bet they'll remove the gold aspect of the item, but it'll just be like a Titans, but for tanks. Because right now, you actually build Titans for some tanks, like Titans Tarek is very strong, because he gets that big old resist, and then he has really good AP scaling. So this is going to be an interesting item added to the game. It's like the Titans for tanks. So like units like Swain, if he's, and I do believe he's still going to be in the game, instead of like, if you want to do like a Swain carry, and I don't know if I don't think this is how you itemize them in this set, but past versions of Swain where you'd go like Titans Jeweled Gauntlet, or like Titans Spark, and that sort of thing, like some real like crazy stuff. It might be like Moguls Mail Titans +1, right? That'd be really cool. That could be very interesting because you index more into the tank stats. But anyways, guys, I'm really excited about this. And then they said they're adding a lot of new items. So he said this is a breadcrumb about the new item update. So they're going to be reworking a lot of the items. So that at least is what we're inferring based on this tweet. So that is very interesting. We'll see how this works out. But anyways, guys, that is it for this update. Come back here tomorrow and check out some of the other uploads if you guys want to know more about the new set. And I'm really excited for next Monday. Going to do a big reveal. Going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. Anyways, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.